James watched her carefully from across the seat. It was dark in the coach, with the shades still drawn. Kate's neck worked as she swallowed convulsively. "Surely we can keep the shades open while we're in the country like this," she said, pulling back one of the curtains. "There's no one to see us here." He shrugged. Was she suddenly shy to be alone with him? Had her hand trembled earlier when he touched her? All he could think about was how beautiful and vulnerable she looked today, and how lovely she'd been when she laughed. He was glad she was able to laugh. This trip to the countryside had been a good idea. He desperately wanted to make her laugh again. He'd started the day attempting to keep his distance, remembering their kiss at the ball. He'd been tortured by it for the last 2 days. He'd decided it would be much better for both of them if they remained apart, and he'd meant to do so, honestly. But when the coach had arrived this morning to take them to the country, he hadn't been able to refuse to go. So he decided to ride in a different coach on the way there, assuming it would make things easier. And once they'd arrived, he'd watched her, surreptitiously, unable to keep his eyes from her. And then they'd had a wonderful morning, laughing, riding, playing in the snow. He couldn't remember having had fun like that, even when he was a child. And it was so easy with Kate. He couldn't keep from smiling and laughing around her. He knew Annie and Lily had been watching him closely, but it didn't matter. He'd promised Kate fun while she wrote the pamphlet for him, and by God, he intended to keep that promise. He smiled to himself, thinking about her reaction to the piglet. "Tell me something," he said. "Did you really have a pig when you were a child?" Success. She laughed, and it was a musical sound. "I did." "As a pet," he continued. "Yes, she lived in the house and everything. She was a very small pig," Kate clarified, "but a pig, just the same." James couldn't help but smile at that. He tried to picture a young Kate chasing a pig around the house, but he couldn't picture her as a child. He couldn't picture her anyway, other than the lovely woman she was, sitting across from him, self-consciously pushing a lock of shimmery golden red hair behind her ear and glancing up at him from behind velvety black lashes. "Please tell me something," she said in a saucy tone, to which James was immediately drawn. He nodded. "As you wish." "What exactly is a raccoon?" His laughter shook the coach. "It's a furry little animal that's sort of black, grey and white with a long striped tail. Looks as though it's wearing a mask. Quite common in the Americas, or so I've heard." "Do Lily and Annie really have a fox and a raccoon?" He grinned at her. "Yes and no." At her questioning look, he continued. "Annie has a fox, all right, but the raccoon is really just a dog that looks like a raccoon. Her name is Bandit." Kate laughed. "Oh, I see. And here I thought I was being improper with my pet pig." He shook his head. "No, you're in excellent company, actually." "I'm glad to hear that." She paused for a moment, biting her lip. "James, may I ask you something else?" He nodded. "Of course." "Why did you seem so standoffish at the farm today?" He glanced out the window. "Did I?" She bowed her head and plucked at the folds in her skirt. "You know you did." He leaned to the side and braced an elbow on the seat cushion. "The truth is, I'm feeling guilty for kissing you." Her jaw dropped. Apparently she hadn't expected him to be quite that forthright. "Guilty? Why?" "I had no right." Her voice was soft. "There were 2 of us in the ballroom that night, James. It wasn't just you." "I know, but—" "I feel guilty too," she murmured. His eyes narrowed on her. "Why?" "You've asked me to write for you, not to distract you with dancing and—" He shook his head. "You distract me just sitting there, but that's no excuse for me to behave like a total jackass and—" She sat up straight. "But you didn't. You didn't act like an ass at all." "Didn't I?" "No." "Thank you for that," he said. "I shall endeavour to keep my hands off you and allow you to write in peace." Was that a look of disappointment on her face? Oh, now he was guilty of wishful thinking. Fool. Kate glanced away and tugged on her curl again. "Do you think Lily and Annie like me?" He sobered. "Yes, they do. Very much."